All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Growth Engine Podcast. I'm Shane Chalupa here with co host Sam Lee. All right. And today we have got the latest and greatest inside of AI of how we're using it in our business and the real impact that we're seeing with it. And I know that a lot of people, especially in 2025, might have been experimenting or hearing about it. But what I've seen out there kind of on the street with the folks that we're working with, customers, clients, prospects, all of that is in general, a business typically has somebody who either has their ear to the ground or has been assigned to put together an AI strategy and figure out how do we actually tackle this, kind of eat the elephant, right? And one of the tactics that has been really successful for us at Obnovit, and even for me personally on that side of things, has been to use a bit more of a piecemeal or step by step methodical approach instead of trying to tackle the whole thing or also go after it in the sense of just buying kind of shiny toys from maybe vendors or people who are approaching you to kind of sell you on some tools because ultimately at the end of the day what I'm finding is the folks out there who are selling the tools, they are not going to understand your business down in the intricate deeper levels of how you operate your tool sets, your software tools, your data sets, how your workflows, your people, your culture, all of that. And all of those variables are like critically important to how you're going to approach AI within your business. And we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. But back to how do we start to eat the elephant here and get started and actually make progress and get everybody rowing in the same direction with this. And we really go back, I go back to this analogy of crawl, walk, run, sprint, and that we have to really kind of learn things from the ground up and then understand the power and the potential in order to start framing and generating those ideas of where it's actually going to drive even more value inside of your business outside of just every user using it. Now, for those out there, I will let you know that companies and businesses and leaders that I work with inside of different AI training groups, they are working with their employees every single day to train on AI and to use it to do 92% of each person's role. So the goals that have been out there for the top leading companies, especially like tech software, things like that, is if they're AI first, they're pushing towards 92% of the work of any individual being done by AI and done by or with AI. And that the other 8% is the stuff that the humans actually are doing and completing. So to, that's a little bit of a moonshot, maybe a metric to strive toward and start thinking about what would our business look like if 92% of our work was done with and by AI? And how would that unlock new potential opportunities and growth opportunities for our business? And it's pretty exciting to think about that. But you're not going to get there just by walking in the office and dropping, "Hey, we bought ChatGPT licenses. We're on enterprise plan now, and we got Copilot licenses for everybody." And yeah, good luck. And I want to see 92% integration within a month. And like that, people are just, it's just not going to happen. So the way that we've seen it be successful is again, come in, start with first forming an AI council. So even if you're a small business and there's only going to be one person on your council, you have to anoint somebody or a group of people who are going to be the champions, the leaders, and kind of help steer this effort within the company. Because it just won't make sense for everybody in the company to be on it if you have a larger company, or if you're a smaller company, then everybody could be on it. But you need to have this nucleus of innovation starting to form, and that starts with getting this council together. After that, we recommend we offer what we call a jumpstart training, which is a half a day kind of crash course intensive on the foundations, the basics, terminology, getting set up, all of those things. So those folks come in, they've got a paid license to whatever tool their company has approved and given them. Most of the time in the engineering and technical space, it's M365 Copilot license because of privacy and data security and enterprise protection is just baked in. So it's easy. And I think there is value out there. There's enough value to warrant the $20 to $30 per user license fee for Copilot add-on. It's well worth it, even if you're going to go get another platform down the road. It definitely has good utility, and it's a great first tool to train with and learn on and kind of see what's possible. So we'll typically get the council formed, then you move into the half day training. And right after that, we go into a 2 to 3 week, what we call the roadmap ramp, where we are not only interviewing the council members, but usually a few additional members. We want to get a good cross section of representation from folks across the different levels of the business. So, both kind of horizontally and vertically within the business, across departments as well, to add that third dimension. So, we want to get a really nice three-dimensional matrix of interviews with different people. We typically do 45 to 60-minute interviews, and that a lot of that is learning more about their day to day, where are the pain points, where do they spend a lot of time that's not necessarily value add, that might be considered overhead or wastage, things of that nature. And what we do is record those, and then we take all those transcripts and we can process them with AI and then pull it all together and find what the common threads are, where are the pain points, and that gives us an idea of initial AI project opportunities. After that, the next step is we'll do a typically a workshop, 2 to 3 hour workshop with the same council. And if they want to add in a few more team members to get that good representation, then the diverse representation, we'll do a brainstorming workshop, which is really fun. We'll build out a little, we have a little tool built out where everybody comes in. We'll set a timer for like 15 or 20 minutes. And then everybody goes in and they just enter in idea, and hit enter, enter until they run out of ideas. And then automatically in the background, we've got it set up to where those results are going into a spreadsheet, and then we just process it in real time using AI to build out a opportunity matrix and well, the list first, and then the next part is inside of the list that we have in the dashboard. We can then go in and rank them, and so we like to use an ICE, so impact, confidence, and ease of implementation. So we'll go as a group, we'll go line by line and rank and rate them. Takes a little bit of time, but there's a lot of good discussion, which again, we record this and pick it up on the transcript. So take all that. We then get our first, in that meeting, we'll get our first impact versus ease matrix, where we can see the ideas that are quick wins and also strategic projects starting to float up. And after that, we take all that information, pull it together, we overlay and look for convergence across individual interviews as well as the brainstorming session. And we ultimately kind of pop out a report. And really, the report is the report. It's great to read and go through and understand of everything that we found and the opportunity areas. But the really valuable piece, the like gold out of all this, is the progression that the council members have throughout that process of opening their eyes, seeing opportunities, knowing they want to take certain workflows and make them AI powered and maybe build some agents to take them end to end. And so we now have that and we can set up a roadmap. And then that roadmap will include quick wins that happen over the next few, typically few weeks, almost some almost instantly. And then there's ones that are more of like a 3 to 6 month time horizon, and others that are like a 12 to 18 month and a significant investment, both time, effort, capital, all of that. And so the company is now in control. They have a way to go from their, we actually do a baseline assessment when they come in, we give them a score, and they now have a roadmap to go to the next level with that scorecard over the next 12-ish months, depending on the ideas that they have and how long we think it'll take to actually make those a reality. And really just having this systematic approach, I can't tell you enough how impactful it is. And it's just a great way to start and make immediate progress and start getting that feedback and seeing those quick wins and then gaining momentum from there. And the only other thing I would say is I've heard instances of other companies where they might have worked with their outsourced IT team, or somebody approached them to sell them an AI solution, like an AI, almost like a wrapper for, oh, you can use any model, we'll tie it to your data, and it's got a chat GPT like interface. I will tell you what, that fell flat on its face because unfortunately there was no training, there was no development done around it. And the company that built it, they have no idea about the specific workflows that this company does and how they work day to day and what the users would want to. Just think about the user interface. Some companies live in Microsoft Teams or Slack all day, and they would love to have the agent run as a bot right there inside of Slack or Teams. Other companies don't use Teams at all, and they might just want a web interface like a chat GPT. Some others might want an independent desktop app because their users like desktop app versions. So there's so many different variables, and just the user interface is critical for these things. And so when you start and move through things methodically, start understanding it through the solutions that are out there and available, like a Copilot, a ChatGPT Enterprise, a Claude Team or Enterprise account, that gets you started, and then that puts the wheels in motion to make bigger breakthroughs down the road. And so for anybody out there that's trying to get started and eat this elephant, knowing that, hey, the, if you're out there and you're like, look, AI integration and adoption at my company, it's on my plate and I got to figure this out, rewatch this and follow this step by step, and I guarantee you, you will feel so much more confident in it, and you will have a methodical process and a system to make that a reality instead of just in a tailspin or feeling like you're pulled in a million different directions and overwhelmed. Break it down step by step, move through it, whether you train and educate yourself or you reach out to us. If anybody's interested in getting our actual full playbook for this, we call it the integration blueprint playbook, and we'll give that away for free. It's exactly what we use with all of our clients, is how we do it and the process we take. You can just email us support at obnovit, obnovit.com, and just put the word blueprint in there, and that will trigger us to release that to you via email. And then if we can be of any additional assistance, you can catch us via email. Also on LinkedIn, Shane Chalupa, and obnovit.com for further details. But yeah, it's night and day. Have heard the story of companies paying to actually get these solutions that sound really great, and these wrappers and all of that, and then falls flat on its face, and they're basically throwing it in the junk pile and starting back at square one. And I think just, it's like anything else. You really got to build up the skills, the muscle, integrate it, go through the change management, and help people overcome the fear, anxiety, and different emotions, as well as setting aside time to form new habits. And start there. Don't just start with shiny tools, because a lot of times those folks don't understand your business.
Damn. I, I'm like thinking about this one AI wrapper solution that I've actually started using um, with uh, with a client of mine, and it's now making me kind of not necessarily second guess, but take a step back and really assess like the the hygiene of the data collection process. Um, I think internally we are aware of the certain limitations around it. But yeah, I think you're right in terms of its limited capabilities. Like I think there is a bit of a threshold to what that type of solution can and can't do. Um, and yeah, I love the interactivity that you go through with your clients. That kind of muscle memory of like them adding to whatever it is, a Notion board or a spreadsheet, something that we can all look at together. It reminds me of like some of the best demos that I've done for softwares is when the provider would tell me to do things on tool. It would get me to really think about, the use cases that I would use that software for. So I love that, um, how you guys make it interactive. And yeah, it's only as good as the process, as you always say. It's only as good as how good the process currently is, and I think that forces the people to input the processes that they're working with day in and day out. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, man. I think it relieves the stress of how to approach this in a more approach in a more approachable way. Really, like it can be quite cumbersome and overwhelming, and yeah, you might just throw money on a wrap solution. Um, but yeah, I think you're walking the walk as you're talking the talk with this one. Like there's reason behind why you're suggesting this type of approach.
Yep, definitely. And yeah, if anybody has a specific situation, I'm also not saying that like the wrapper solutions aren't going to work for some folks out there. But yeah, there's definitely limitations, and I think that the wrapper solution can be great. And actually, the client that I was working with on that came to me about it, I said, well, I wouldn't throw it away just yet. I think there's a way to get there. I think it's just a matter of we need to look under the hood and you guys have to put together your requirements and then align it with what capabilities they can actually build into this for you. And it's more of instead of just trying to fit something in because it's labeled AI, but instead looking at it as a potential opportunity and a way to form it to something that does work for you and your company. And it might not be that much work. Um, but so I said, don't throw it away necessarily, because they were like, yeah, we're just going to ditch it. um, I was like, well, you might not have to do that just yet. Like, let's look under the hood and let's start at the basics, right? And understand our workflows and user interaction and how that all plays out. So that way, maybe we can tweak it and make it into something that is actually valuable for you. And so, yeah, we're going to dive into that. But another thing out there, just for folks like to understand, back to like walking the walk and talking the talk, is we're fortunate enough we've got some actual true technical projects that we do outside of just AI enablement and education. And I will tell you, right now with Claude Opus 4.6 on extended thinking inside of the Claude desktop app, and now Co-work and Claude Code, I we have just proved out this week 10x capacity gain. Something that would have taken us deliverables and things that would have taken us 10 hours are taking an hour. Things that would have taken us maybe 20, 30 hours to create a full analysis with a report and on brand output deliverables, whether you want docx, PowerPoint, Excel, PDFs, whatever you want. We literally took something that would have been a minimum of 20 hours of a senior person's time down to a tenth of that to create the final output. So
Incredible.
it's here and it's only going to get better. So if you're not working towards it, I'm telling you right now, this year, you're going to start feeling it from those of your competitors that are in the space and using it. It's going to start showing up in the numbers. It's so good that people are just, you can't avoid it anymore.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for sharing your knowledge. Yeah, anyone interested, absolutely reach out to Shane Chalupa on Instagram, LinkedIn. And yeah, thanks again, man. Love hearing the insides of how to approach AI enablement. Even I know it's in the perspective of engineering, but I think even for me, I always take away something valuable and applicable to my line of business, which is so far from engineering, but still very much works across industries, which is awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy.